Hello and welcome to the Talking Wednesday podcast. I hope the podcast finds you well and you're all doing well. It looks like we're getting a little bit of spring weather now, so sunshine coming out, starting to look a little bit nicer, even though it's still cold as anything in the morning. But yeah, it's me and Jack this week. Deck can't do this week, so it's me and Jack. So we'll be doing the usual stuff, talking about Wednesday, talking about what's
James
in the
had
news.
to go and see a man about a horse.
Okay. He hasn't. I don't know where he's gone.
Yeah, we don't know where he is. He's disappeared.
But we've got our usual social, Discord, membership options, and all the stuff, all that good stuff. And
all the stuff.
I think there'll be a Talking Wednesday extra at some point middle of March. We got the draft to do. God knows how far behind I'm going to be now because I think I picked all the injured players. So yeah. But before we get into the Sheffield Wednesday part of the podcast, how's your week been, Jack?
A big roller coaster. It's a very long story, so I'm just going to say it's been okay. You know, I've talked to you about things privately about stuff, so it's all over the place at the moment for me in my head. But good, yes, nice. It is really interesting that like loads of people put a poo on the whole seasonal annual depression, and then you walk outside on a random Sunday in February and there's actual sunlight, and then you don't feel dead inside anymore, and then it's actually it proves that it's real. So that's nice.
It's really nice today.
Sunshine's back.
It's really nice today. Like I woke up, I'm like, oh, this is lovely. But yeah.
But how are you? How's your week been?
Started
in your comment section.
Yeah. It started with an ill child, because she wasn't well last week, and then she had got Monday off, and it slowly got better the week went on. Apart from Wednesday night, I walk up the stairs ready to go to bed, have a seizure, and I end up at the bottom of the stairs. So I have done my back in water wet. Punk breaks himself on the regular, to which Jack has already taken the mick out of me this morning.
But we do it affectionately. It's what friends do.
Yeah. But
you take the mick first and then ask if they're all right afterwards. That's what you do.
Yeah.
It's just what you do, isn't it?
To be fair, that's what my wife does.
Yeah.
It's normally like, you've done something stupid to hurt yourself. Laugh, and then, are you actually okay?
Yeah.
No. That arm that was meant to be connected to me is somewhere over yonder.
Yeah.
Go fetch it.
It's like your stairs are not Oblivion at frigging Alton Towers. You're not going wee down to the bottom, Jake.
To be fair, I've got to be careful with the bottom of my stairs because there's a trapdoor at the bottom of my stairs from the old owner.
Okay, that doesn't sound sinister at all.
No.
There's a trapdoor in my house.
So I've got to be careful. And also, if I have a seizure down the stairs, I have to make sure it's to the left and not the right. And I know I can't predict which way my body's going. Because if I go to the right, I'm going to end up on the radiator. And that's going to probably hurt even more. But apart from that, it was decent. Got some little bits done with the house. I got some quotes for some work we're going to get done. Eldest has had an excellent time at school, and it's been good. It's been a really good week, and it's just trying to get that last little bit of February out the way and done with today, 1st of March, which is good. So it does mean spring time to come in. I think it's 9th of March. The sun will go down at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. So be a lot better for a lot of things that it just. I'm happy that the weather's changing, Jack. I'm happy that we're starting to see the change and a bit more sunshine. It's still cold as anything when you wake up. Because the other day...
I can also tell that my sense of humour's really scuffed. Because the moment you said that you've got to make sure you go to the left and not the right down the stairs, the cha-cha slide started playing in my head. Slide to the left. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I'm glad it's March now. February's not a great month for me, as you know. But
it's getting to that point of getting to March, and then you start getting to the busy period, which is April, due to Easter. And when it comes
And
to
it's when my
Easter,
car insurance comes out of my bank account, and I don't like that. That's not fun.
I'd be
that's
very
May. Never
surprised.
mind.
I'd be very
I've still got-
surprised if your car actually manages to spend an entire year without being in the garage for just its MOT. Because you do not have the good luck over the last couple of years.
It's a guarantee that there's it's the MOT in December, but then there's always a guarantee that for some reason, we're going to have to get this in the garage to get a little something sorted out. And it's
Be thankful it's not a newer car, because newer cars, if you want to take the headlight out, you have to take the engine out, and then you have to take everything out.
Yeah.
Else out, it's ridiculous.
or
it's a case of, hey, your light's not working. If I put the computer in here, I can fix it.
Yes.
£400, please. What?
Yes, I just want to move the exhaust pipe a millimeter to the left. £500, please. Thank you. Great.
Yeah,
Cheers.
it's the thing. It's the thing. I've got a mate who got an electric car, and he's had one since they first started becoming a thing. And he quote to get the battery replaced. He might as well buy a new car.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We've got to get to sorted. And talking of driving, my missus is having lessons at the minute, so hopefully she can start getting her license, and that make life a bit easier for us a lot as well. So yeah.
And talking of driving as well, the amount of injuries that we keep getting, Jake, is driving us insane.
Oh, I
don't know about
insane.
you, but it's driving me insane. Yet more. But that's something.
Shall we get on to the Wednesday game then?
Yes, so the comment section can rest easy. We've stopped with the personal chatter now. We're just straight onto the Wednesday talk. It's fine. Your TikTok attention spans. You can rest easy now, okay? It's the subject matter at hand now.
So Friday, we played Sunderland at home, and I don't think we were that bad again. I keep saying this every time. We were the better team up to a point, and then it went to pot. And we do have this thing where we'll play well, play some good football. I thought Paul Valentin had an excellent game getting crosses into the box. Josh could have had a chance and guide it. Pato headers it, and it just goes over the bar. You're thinking, surely something coming in this game. Something going to come for us in a good way, because we're playing really good football. But again, it's that case of us having all these chances and stuff to put things away and not being able to bury them when we're on top. And this has been a problem for a number of years now. And we had a very threadbare squad as well, because there was a lot of illness. No Michael Smith in the squad due to illness. He was meant to do the press conference and didn't. Had to say starter, which I was really happy to see.
Yeah.
Because I think he had an excellent
He looked very
game.
good as well. Oh, yeah. He looks very, very good.
We do have a little bit of a wait now, though, because Shea Charles didn't pick up the yellow card in this game. And if he picks one up now, between now and Norwich, he'll miss the derby.
Oh, great. That would be really good. Imagine that without him in the midfield. Oh, no.
Yeah. But then you look at the game, there was a clear handball in the penalty that didn't get given for Wednesday. And then their goal. Their goal where he hits his arm. You can see it hit his arm.
It's just above the wrist, isn't it? It's
the referee can see
middle of his forearm.
See it well and doesn't give it.
Yeah.
And it's a good, don't get me wrong, it's a good, well taken goal, even if he did take it off his arm. And Beadle probably should have stood up a little bit stronger, because I think he may have come out a little bit too soon and gone to ground too easily. And Hatase could have run a little bit faster to clear it off the line, because he just gave up when he thought it was trundling in. But again, it's little moments like that we're not having the luck at all, where we're on top in games, doing well, looking like we might be able to do something, and then we don't have that situation where we can finish it. And you're just thinking, as soon as that happens, thinking, this is going to happen again to us. You're like, this is going to happen again, where it's another one of those cases where it's... And people have said the whole thing, VAR sees that, probably it don't get given, it gets overturned, blah, 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 blah. We don't have VAR, and we know how our refereeing jobs is, But it does just seem like the inconsistency of referees is just getting a little bit worse.
It feels like the standards really dropping in general as well, though, of like all the good ones are just going to the Premier League and staying in the Premier League, but then there's no... It doesn't feel like there's good ones coming up to replace those that have been, like, you know, that have gone up from the EFL to the Premier League all the time.
Matt Lowe jumped, missed it, and that didn't help it either. And he went down a little bit after that and had to come off injured. It's another injury, and shocking. It's in the defence. It's another situation where the defence.
We just don't have any defence. Like, let's get Danny back in. He was a defender when he played.
Yeah,
let's get him in. Chris Powell was a defender too.
No,
let's get him in.
It's defended again. He went off, and you were like. And the thing is, there was a lot of people, because I did the stream, said, it was a very much like, why are we playing a fullback at centre-back? Because he can play it and we haven't got any centre-backs. It's very, very simple. We wanted centre-backs in January and the summer. Didn't get them. And Danny said it's quite rare that you get your entire back line out injured. It's not something that normally happens, but it is a Wednesday thing to happen, and it's done that. And it's just really frustrating because Palmer had to come on. Palmer did okay, but you can tell he's ring rusty.
He looked rusty, but he did really well. I thought he did well.
He did okay,
yeah.
He did okay.
I don't think his last performance wasn't great, and I was a bit worried that it would be the same sort of thing again. And then I think
for their second goal, he could have done a lot better with closing down. But again, he'd not played any 13 football.
It was an early cross from out of nowhere, really, wasn't it? And it just the focus levels kind of were dropping anyway of the Wednesday players. And...
We get to half time, and you're thinking, great, let's see what we can do. It's only 1-0. We can get back into this. The goal we scored was all Callum Patterson's work. He won the ball. He then got the ball out to Ingolson, who got the cross in, and he got the header. And you're thinking, that's what you want to see. Fantastic. Early goal, early start, puff forward. And we did tend to try and puff forward quite easily. But then Pato went for a tackle. Looked like he caught his toe in the grass, and he went off injured.
Amazing.
So, again, another one that went off injured, and you're thinking... What are we going to have to do here to try and sort this out? Because Ubbo came on, didn't have too much, tried to get into the right positions, and then the goal they scored, it's a really good cross.
Yeah.
You can't, the goal they scored, you can't say anything better than fantastic cross, right position, goals it. Not a lot. I felt
like
else.
The two teams were playing with very similar styles as well, actually.
Yeah.
Like, Sunderland is effectively what I think we will be next season, minus the fall off that they've had. I guess. I think
the annoying thing now is it's 5 games at home without a win. It's 2 wins in 11. The form for us has just dropped completely.
I had a feeling it might happen, though.
A lot of people had a feeling it could happen.
Yeah,
and I think the 50-point target is also could be something. Could be that close to hitting it, but we're not quite there yet. Could be a thing. Yeah. But again, people keep having this situation where they're going, but we've had. It's like when people keep saying drop Beadle. It's like, but we keep having the situation where we don't have a settled back lineup, so you want to then unsettle it even more.
Exactly.
Most people have had a settled back line all season to a point. We haven't. Ours have been so discombobulated throughout the season and changed. It's a big problem for us that we can't seem to keep that line up the same. And we're having to now play people who are not naturally centre-backs at the back to see what happens. And I know some people have said, we should get some of the youth in. And I agree, but there's a lot of the youth who've gone out who you would want to use. Like,
and are they
Maltby,
ready? That's the thing.
Reed. They're all gone out on loan. Otabio would have probably played yesterday, but he was ill. And this week alone, we've had illness go through the camp. So it's like we've had illness go through the camp, we've had injuries, and it's just like you can't catch a break at the minute. And it's one of these things where you make your own luck. And if you look at the stats, 9 shots, we have 4 on target to their 11 and 4, 58% of the ball, 83% passing accuracy. 1 yellow card. We have 5 cornered to their 9. I thought some of their corner routines were interesting and very clever. I won't lie. And it's just annoying because you look at it and we are mid-table. Let's say what it is. We are a mid-table team. But if you actually look at our form, it's 1 win in the last 5. And that's not good.
No.
That's not something you want to see. Because that could... You don't want to start getting into the forms of down like 19th, 21st and all that lot. Because if they start going on runs, we could be dragged into that. If the people down there start going on runs and starting to move forward, we could quite easily get dragged into that. And the thing is, our next games are Plymouth and Norwich, back-to-back away games. And we're not coming back for that.
Yeah.
We are not coming back for that. We're staying down there, which I think is the right move. I think you've got to do that and try and stay down there to a point and try and risk not have much injuries. And Sunderland, to the credit, if Burnley mess up, which is possible, could happen. Also, I don't know if you know about this one, Jack. Burnley this week had an injury in that defensive lineup this week.
Oh, really?
After the week we played them.
Amazing. Incredible. Phenomenal.
Where we played quite well. Typical, isn't it?
Typical. Absolutely.
But Sunderland could catch Burnley up, which will be interesting, but I think Sunderland are pretty much set for playoffs now.
Yeah.
Barring a miracle. And if you actually look at what they've done, last season they were near the bottom. And that's a big progression. So it shows you, if you get it right, you can do really good things. But Wednesday are currently in 13th place on 45 points with Millwall, QPR on 44, Preston 42, Swansea 40, Pompey 39, Oxford 38. I think it's very safe to say you could probably stop talking about playoffs now.
We'll be just under it, I think. We'll be like 8th or 9th, hopefully, is kind of what I want us to be by the end of the season.
I just want a mid-table.
Yeah. Loads
no
of people
drama.
are also... I've seen loads of people like, oh, there's no progression, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, the only reason they're saying this is because we've had so many seasons back-to-back of some sort of, like, adrenaline rush. We've had the relegation to League One from the points deduction. Immediately following that, we had a failed playoff thing against Sunderland in League One. Then immediately we had the comeback of the century. Then immediately after that, we've had stopping up by the skin of our teeth. And now it's like, oh, there's no big adrenaline rush because we're mid-table. Oh, no. But that is progress.
We have
because
to
we're
try
not
and keep the
surviving by
mid-table
the skin of our teeth. Yeah.
We have to try and find a run now, though, where we get a win. Because Plymouth will be fighting for their lives to try and get anything. Norwich all think they can try and get something and get into that playoff position. And then you've got Sheffield United who are going to be pushing Leeds.
Yeah.
If you look at it, the next load of game coming up, Cardiff, Hull, after the break, by the way. Cardiff, Hull, Blackburn, Oxford, Stoke, Pompey, Middlesbrough, Watford. That's all you got till the end of the season. And some of them are below you in the table.
Yeah.
Who might want to get a bit of a run going, a bit of a wins to move them up the table. And if they're in that kind of position we were last season, where they get momentum, that's not what you want to see.
I've kind of noticed as well that we seem to be struggling even more. Teams have seemed to figure out that we struggle to score when they just park the bus. It's not they don't necessarily park the bus to then just not bother attacking. It's just that when they've got like 9 men behind the ball, like we can't break it down, and that's what a few matches ago someone sussed that out, and every team's been doing it against us since then, and that's just Burnley did it against us, and that was really effective, as we saw, 4-0. But like, we just don't have that player that will. I mean, I think we do. I think it could be Sissoko. because he looked like he was tearing through them quite a lot, but it seems like there's. I don't know if it's because the coaches or whatever don't quite think he's fully match ready to start yet or anything like that, but
yeah. I think
it feels like there's a hesitancy to bring him in there properly to say run at them and create something out of nothing.
I think if you look at like teams down there, it's like Plymouth play most of everyone around there. Like Plymouth have got Hull, us, Pompey, Derby, Watford, Norwich, Swansea, Sheffield, Middlesbrough, Coventry, Preston, Leeds. But they're playing a couple who are around there. There's like a big thick pointer there with Derby.
Yeah.
Like they got their game versus Man City today. Could that change how they do stuff? You got the likes of Derby who have got, again, they've got to play Burnley. They've got to play Blackburn Rovers, Coventry. Their last game of the season, Stoke. It's like you look at it and there's so many games that you see and you think, is there something that could change it for us in a sense where we're not dragged into it? Because bottom three, 30, 29, 28. They're not far away.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get dragged into it. I think we've got more than enough not to get dragged into it. But the longer we're stuck on the 45 points and we're not on the 50 points, the more I'm going to have that little internal panic that we're getting closer to it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And we had to have progression, and I wanted mid-table. I've got mid-table, but the problem is we have to try and keep it, and you got to find a way of changing it in the next 3 games. And I think the international break will come just at the right time for Wednesday to just be like, okay, it is what it is. Let's have a break.
It's nice that we're playing attractive football, but it's annoying that nothing keeps coming of it.
No.
In a sense.
Well, it's like I've seen the whole thing where people go, oh, we buy a striker and he doesn't go. In hindsight, he had 7 goals for the following season. That's why he got signed.
Yeah.
But this season, it's just not worked. He wanted another striker. He wanted another defender. We haven't got it. We'll have to see what happens. At the end of the day, there's things that'll be interesting to see what shape next season. But shall we get into the news, my friend?
I think we should, yes. I think we should.
Big decision to be made on Sheffield Wednesday staff contracts. So, if you remember, Danny signed his extension, but the staff contracts are not in line with Danny's. A lot of these deals end in the summer. Now, you're looking at the of Sasha Lands, Sale Babbo, Henrik Pedersen, and Chris Powell, who did renew his deal. Now, Danny went on to say this to it. I think will be dealt with at the end of the season. At the point we make a general pitch overview, and then I will think after the season we'll have the feedback. We'll sit together with the club and we'll see what it means for the summer, what we have to do, what we can do, and what is best for the club. It is not now for this topic. We had this last year after the season. We'll have it after this season again. We will bring everyone to the point. I have a clear view, but this is not at the moment a topic. At the moment, our focus is the next 12, because it was before 11 games going well, or maybe really, really well. There could still be 3 more games. What do you think?
Yeah, it's an interesting little thing of like, well, maybe we need to have a change. That suggests, do we have a change in a coach somewhere? To me, a little bit like whatever is best for the club. Meaning, do we tweak who is actually here in the coaching staff as well?
Yeah.
In a sense. But then it's also, as we know how Chansiri does things. He doesn't renew contracts before they're ended.
No.
He always renews contracts when they are already finished.
Annoyingly, Danny doesn't want that with the playing staff this year, and I have a funny feeling we're going to get that.
Yeah.
It's
because that's not how you renew contracts in an office scenario, is it? In a corporate scenario, you only renew them when they're finished. You don't say, oh, your contract here at the office is up in 6 months. Let's renew it now, and then, you know,
It'll be
people don't do
interesting. It'll be
that.
interesting to see what he does with it, because
Yeah.
I generally think he's more than likely going to keep all of them and not have too much change.
I don't see why he wouldn't, but
you might have 1 or 2 come in just to help a little bit more. But I think the thing that got me with this was the fact that you forget about that. You forget that their contracts are up.
Yeah.
Because they all didn't get done at the same time. And normally they all get done at the same time and in line with so you haven't got this conversation. But also for me, it was the fact that it's like, you look at it, it's like 11 games are left in the season. That is it. That's all that's left in the season. It doesn't
feels
feel
like it's
that.
gone really quickly to me somehow.
It really does. It feels like it's gone stupidly fast. But for me, it's that whole thing where you look at it going, 11 games left. Once you start getting into April, you have that situation where you really are counting down the season and waiting until the end. So, I'll be interested to see what happens, because it could be another one of those summers where we're talking about players, but maybe we're talking about again the situation with a Danny Rule being looked at by other teams. I don't think it's gonna be a fun summer in that sense. I think the speculation on everything could be a bit insane, but we'll see.
I can't wait for the Wednesday fan trauma response of, oh, he's definitely off, isn't he? Because that's all managers have ever done to us, is screw us over and go for a bigger option or better
to be fair,
option.
They're not
blah, blah,
wrong.
blah.
Come on, they're not wrong. Danny got
not everyone is Steve Bruce, but
Danny got asked about Bailey Calamartri to discuss the next steps on his Sheffield Wednesday future. This is by the Star. Injury to Bailey Calamartri have proven the latest test on loan at Lincoln. Talks around the next step for Sheffield Wednesday future to come in due course. The Al youngster spending time with the League One side, having made the switch in the summer following an impressive breakthrough campaign. Since he gained the England youth recognition, 8 goals have followed for the Sing Blank outfit. But he had been signalised since the start of the year with a injury in training. So, he went on to say, Danny, he was here. I spoke with him in general. Neil took the loan players. He spoke with Sean, and we're all still in contact. Neil watched the games, and he'd come back with feedback, which is very helpful. For Bailey, most important thing was that he got game time, a good level. He had good goals, and now about it finding his rhythm back. It's interesting how they spoke about looking at Sean Fuser, who at the moment hasn't actually played much while he'd been out on loan since Mark Hughes went and took the Carlisle job. Roll also went on to say Calamartri had a good end of the season, and then when he's back, we'll stick together, make the next decision together, what might be the right set. The preseason is always a good opportunity to bring the players back. We have some really exciting players back in the summer. Young boys, you have Gab, Sean, Bailey, Charlie. It's a good group. They make a huge step forward. This is good to see for us. And it comes up that whole question is, what do you do with Charlie McNeil next year? Are you going to do what you've done with Bailey and putting out on loan? Or is this the bit where you start using these 4 players, maybe 5, to start building your team for next season in that sense? What do you think?
I definitely think the 3 mentioned before, Charlie McNeil, definitely stick them in with. Because, I mean, Otik Bayo's already proven his worth, I think, personally, and proven that he actually will definitely be a first-team regular defender. But, like, I don't know, Charlie McNeil seems he's still got his under-21 physicality to him, and that's why I think he's been struggling to get in the side. Technically, I think he could do it, because, I mean, he showed that in the whole cup game at the start of the season. But physically, he's still not quite like capable. I get it. He doesn't look. He looks too weedy. He looks like he'll be muscled off quite easily. And so I think he would be good to be sent out on loan. But the other 3, get them into the first team.
It's interesting now. Also, we didn't actually mention Pierce Charles, where I think Pierce Charles is already in the line.
Yes.
For next season.
He's
number 1 for me.
I'm sure he's number 1 next season. Yeah. I'm positive, without a shadow of a doubt. If anybody's looking at him, 18 million, please. Thank you.
Plus
with
20%
he stays 20% penalty, and he stays for the season on loan as well. You're not having it immediately there and then.
I think it's good to see us getting Youngster come forward, but again, it's that whole situation when you look at Youngster coming forward, we have to make sure it's right. Also, just want to mention quickly, Danny spoke about last night's injury. They're going to have scans today to see what the situation is. And he basically turned around and said, if Pato coming off, there is something seriously wrong. That I agree, Pato doesn't come off lightly. And it's just more injuries at the back and in the squad, which we could do without, which is not what we want to have. But the fact that Iorfa was on the bench could mean we're close to seeing him back a little bit sooner than we want. But you got to remember, after March as well, you've got situations, some of these injuries come back.
Yeah.
Hacking and stuff, so it might help. So we'll see. And also, Danny drops a hint on preseason. Now, I have said, because a lot of people have been like, is Danny going in the summer? He's going to do a preseason, whatever. Even if he's going to have something in place just in case he didn't go. I think that's just a given. But it looks like we're probably going to be going to the same places we went last season by doing it. He said we have sat to look at the hotels to preseason camp. We have looked at the schedule. These are normal things to do in February. To plan the next preseason for me, I've learned a lot during the season and around which thing we did well and which thing we may be a bit more focused on preseason. It's a good experience, and from this experience, I take notes and plan the next step. What do you think about going back to Germany, Austria? Do you think those were the right camp for us last year?
I definitely think so. We were facing like Champions League opponents as well for the preseason friendlies, and I just thought the whole thing just was. I just got the vibe that like there was a lot more progress that was made there than there was particularly the other year under Cisco in Spain, and it just felt like they were really committed to everything, and they did actually pick up a lot of Danny's new tactics and all that sort of thing, and the group bonded obviously as a team and seemed to be even more mentally strong because of that whole preseason together and everything. But I'm very happy with it being in Germany again. I
think the thing is you can take some of the youngsters over there as well and give them chance to, because what I've noticed, we do quite well at getting youngsters from the 21s and sometimes 18s into the first team to go train and play. So you've got a load that you're going to take with you in the summer, because the thing that you want is when it comes to this preseason camp this year, you want nearly all your transfers done.
Yeah.
You don't want to have this situation where we had it where Charlie Neal were coming halfway through. Chala were coming halfway through.
We didn't get Ugbo until the whole thing was over. And you
want to make sure you get it all done early doors.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, again, people forget this is his first full season in charge.
Yeah.
Like doing a full season.
As a manager, full stop. Yeah.
And I think it credit to him with where we are, but I will be interested to see what we do. And it's interesting when he said I've taken notes on what we did well and what we did not so well. And I think he'll probably be looking at what they did not so well to try and figure it out. Like, we had a lot of sessions per day. And I think it has made us a fitter team.
Yeah.
But I think the injuries we keep getting are just ones we're getting in game. It's not like we're getting them in training scenarios. They're happening in game in the physical contact
I think
of the
that's
game.
because of how hard they trained in preseason as well, actually. that the injuries have gone down. And most of the time, the injuries they've got in bloody games have been thanks to other players clattering into them.
Muscle injuries normally.
Oh.
Yeah. And a lot of them have been like muscle injuries than anything else.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is that when you come to this preseason as well, I have a funny feeling there's going to be a lot going in the summer who are old guard kind of thing. Old guard,
yeah.
So this preseason coming up will be a big one on team bonding, setting a new spirit, setting a new way of thinking, introducing new people to the system and the squad and how people interact with others.
Yeah.
I think there's a big learning curve, I would say, for what's going to happen next, because I just feel like this is going to be the next. what's the word I'm looking for? The next group of players.
The next generation, or not the next, like, I don't know.
You'll see a proper Danny side, because it won't be scattered with other people's player, because it is a Danny team now, because it's more Danny players than ever, but then it'll be even more if he gets to play.
Because Liam Palmer's still there, you can say that it's actually still a Dave Jones team or a Gary Megson team in there as well.
You can still say it's a Carloth team because of Bannon being
Bannon.
Yeah. Right, we're going to do the next game, which is Plymouth Argyle. They haven't got a game today. They got Man City in the cup, so good luck with that, lads. Good luck. Actually, you never know. You might actually do it. Man City.
Oh yeah, without Man City's defences at the moment,
Man City haven't been great.
They needed to pull in sodding Neil Warnock to go and give him a talking to, didn't they? With that little interview of him and Pep.
Plymouth record is 6-12, 16, 30 points. Their home record is 6-7-4, 25 points. Their away record is 5-12. They've got 5 points away from home. Goals, 36. Goals against, 68. I think we're second worst in that as well. I think we're on now 56, 57, which ain't great. The last game in the league was a 1-1 draw versus Cardiff. How do you think we'll do in this?
I mean, because it's at their place, isn't it? It's always a bit of a bogey place for us to go to, that one. So I'm very cautious. But judging on how things were at the start of the season, I'm confident. But
they've improved though. They have massively improved. They're tighter at the back now.
Oh, of course, the new manager. Yeah. I'm cautious, but I'm optimistic. I think. I don't really want to put a score on it, but
I don't want to put a score on. But I think for me, it's maybe it's a Sissoko Ugbo link up.
Yeah.
That'd be.
I really hope Ugbo finally scores.
I think we all are, but hot take. I got it in my head that he might not go all season. He might get one, and he eventually does get it, but it'll get ruled as an own goal or something. Yeah. And it'll just be really unlucky for him. But yeah, I ain't got anything else to say. Then this really. What about you, Jack?
No, neither have I really. Just stop being knobby to Jake in his comments for no real reason, because it's just he sends me screenshots on a daily basis, and it's just people being really just horrible for no reason at all, and I'm just I don't get it. I get that it's frustrating watching Wednesday at the moment with situations like that, but just like
I think for me, I'm all for everyone having their opinion. It's just like, have your opinion. It's fine. Football is great, but think about how you say it and stuff, and how you come across and kind of thing.
And if you're going to use criticisms, actually use criticisms with evidence and facts, and back them up with facts. Don't just come out with random statements of nothing burgers and then expect it to be the next Gandhi. You know, like that's just that does my head in. It really does my head in.
At the end of the day, we are
at the end of the day,
all Wednesday, aren't we?
Yes.
We need to stick together, see what happens, and hopefully find a win from somewhere soon.
Exactly.
But we will see you in the next episode of the Talking Wednesday podcast.
Arrivederci.